Welcome and thank you for coming. The policies of the Department of Justice have failed everywhere across this country. The issues that need to be addressed by the Department of Justice are not being addressed, especially the issues of police murder of our American veterans and citizens. The settlement agreement between the Department of Justice and City of Albuquerque is absolutely worthless and a breach of constitutional law. I refer you to paragraph 1, page 6, paragraph 7, page 7, and paragraph 334, page 104 of the settlement agreement. The Department of Justice and the City of Albuquerque and the courts have no right to monopolize this process. They all continue to try and shut out the voices of we the people. This is why I filed a motion for hearing in the district court and against the settlement agreement. My concerns are who is representing we the people, addressing the issues in interest of our American veterans and we the people. The settlement agreement is a violation of the supreme law of the land. We the people need to move forward with criminal complaints requiring indictments, accountability, and transparency. The mission statement of American Liberty Law says it all. The American people need to get over the fear of dealing with our courts. It's all about money and not justice for all. Thank you.
We want to see that the people are heard. Well, the people need to be addressed by the Justice Department, the City of Albuquerque, and what their interests are to the people. I've seen in the agreement that it's all based on the city, the Justice Department, and all these entities that have filed with the court, but I have yet to really see where the people are being presented. And that's the concern of American Liberty Law. We do believe that the door should be open so that the individuals will be informed of what is actually in the agreement, what is the law in relationship to every parts of that agreement, both constitutionally as well as statutes, the USC Code, and to see what is the best interest of the people. We're seeing what is the best interest of the Department of Justice, and we're seeing what is the best interest of the City of Albuquerque in relationship to the police. But I have not yet to see what is the relationship to the people whom they serve. It is my understanding that we have individuals that are public servants that are to serve at the pleasure of we the people, but I have yet to see what our servants in both the Department of Justice and the City of Albuquerque, how they're addressing the issue in relationship to serving the people. So that's my concern.
What have you done?
I have assisted this individual here on his, and with other associates, on his filing for his hearings, his motions, and the amicus briefs that he has filed. Tony. Okay. And by doing so, we have not yet have heard from the court. Now, we understand the court is very busy. We understand that they're addressing the issues with the city and the Department of Justice. We would like for the court to address the motion on the interest of the people and where the people really are going to be heard or not in relationships to accountability of the law. We've heard of the Miranda warning. We know of Miranda warning. It's been in place for a long time. It's become a constitutional rule, and statutes are unconstitutional according to Miranda versus Arizona. And we also know in the Ninth Circuit Court in California that their investigation has shown that outside of the Miranda, it is a lawless police department that has come in and taken over. What we're really asking for is that our public servants follow the law and follow the Miranda warning that has been brought down by the United States Supreme Court in relationship to we the people. If they would follow the Miranda warning as it was established, then the police would have the process and how to achieve any violation and yet protect individual rights within the process. I am the director of the American Liberty Law. They can go to AmericanLibertyLaw.org, and they could find information. You can find the Miranda warning as the Supreme Court set it down. It's there. You can find the judicial systems part 1 and 2 showing its structure. There's many things you can find in American Liberty Law. We do teach Constitution, we do teach law, and we do move forward. The people should know the law.
Have you been in contact with the monitor that's been established?
Not as of yet, no. My whole focus has been in relationship to law and what law has been violated and how we're going to address the issue. There is case law showing that there's been many violations that have not been addressed, criminal indictments that should have been passed down and not being looked at. And then what bothered me the most, and our associates who reviewed the settlement agreement, is the people are not being addressed in the agreement itself. And it claims that they talk about in the first paragraph of introduction, it talks about complying with the Constitution and the laws. Yet when you go to the last paragraph in 344 on page 104, it clearly states in that paragraph that we the people will not have the means of any civil, criminal, or administrative action in this agreement. So it throws the people out of this agreement, which then how can you say you're going to comply with the Constitution yet violate it? It becomes a double standard language. You're either going to do one or the other. You can't do both.
Now, it's my understanding that your organization has gone to the state government.
Yes, actually we have. We've actually filed legislation in New Mexico state government with the chief clerk of the House and the chief clerk of the Senate.
And what legislation is that?
That is the Act of 2015.
Is that working with one of the legislators?
No, because when we went to file this Act of 2015, it passed the time where legislatures can actually file with the clerk in the session. But the reason why we filed was because we did not ask for our representatives to file on our behalf of we the people of the state of New Mexico. We the people filed because we're not subject to the House rules. So the clerk accepted our filing of the act. So now that it has been proposed as of March 18th, which sets up some new departments in state government, we're now looking at a grand jury department, and we're now looking at a constitutional police agency within that particular act, as well as the state now being required to report to the people annually about the people's business. We, the people, need to know what our servants are doing, and we want accountability. That's where the grand jury comes in, which then grants us, we the people, because it is a government of we the people, by the people, for the people, accountability of our servants, so that we may work together to benefit all parties. That's the whole purpose.
So if there is a special session called, which I'm hearing,
Yes, I'm hearing that too.
do you think this will be addressed?
I do not know at this point.
So no one has contacted you?
Not at this point.
All right.
There's one more important point I'd like to add. The Department of Justice, for decades, knows that there's been police murder in this state, yet they refuse to address it. The Department of Justice is allowing the city of Albuquerque to repair its own department, and that will not happen because they will just go right back to doing what they were doing before. There was a press conference a little while back where a good friend of mine said, police are getting away with murder. This should stop. This should stop today. And our law enforcement agencies should start arresting police officers because they have committed murder. And they keep covering it up. That's why we want transparency. We want this department to be fixed. And you might have to tear down the whole department to do it, but there has to be citizen involvement in every department, including internal affairs, including public relations, including city council and the police chief. The murders need to stop. Transparency needs to be implemented, and these decades of murder need to be cleared up, and these officers need to be prosecuted. Thank you.
There's one other point I'd like to address with this. I do want to make sure that everyone is aware that we do have police officers and public servants that really do care about the interest of ourselves and our posterity. That's our children. They're there. We know they're there. But there are a few that for some reason in a position that are not allowing these things to happen in the benefit of the people. And so that's what we're really addressing, to get into the accountability and allow the servants that really do care. Let's support them. Let's help them in this process and in harmony with all parties, that we can achieve the goal that we may have a better tomorrow for our children. That's our biggest concern. We need to take care of our kids. It is for ourselves and our posterity. Thank you.
Has your group taken any position on the situation with the district attorney Brandenburg and the Boyd case?
Not at all. I have not. We have not investigated it. We have not looked into it at this particular point. Our particular goal right now is to see that we have legislation and that we move forward with the legislation, that these departments get in place so that we can have accountability. We need to have accountability. We need to get those who really do love this country and really love ourselves and our posterity, that we may move forward for a better tomorrow. That's our goal.